This is Joy Paris with Network.tv on the red carpet, bringing you coverage of the film premiere of Khazana. Stay with me as I get ready to talk to some of the cast.
My role is Amr. I'm a very abusive husband towards Vedahi, and it's a very difficult role for me to play because I'm not like that at all. It's a really different role than I usually play of an abusive husband because, it's not tolerated in this society. However, it is experienced by women all over the world, and I think someone needed to talk about it, and Rahul just did it, and that's great.
You mentioned that this is a different role for you. What types of films did you do before?
Well, it's funny that you asked me that because I just got off of Homeland last season, and I play a Middle Eastern guy who's pretty much working with Claire Danes, and really like I was kind of the hunchman, in that particular role. But now this year I've been working on different roles, roles that are not stereotypical, roles that are in different light, which I love to do. It's like it's sad that Hollywood kind of like puts you in those little blocks and squares and rounds and circles, and it's good to like get out of those and just do what you like to do, enjoy doing. Well, what happens is like when they hear your name, you're like, okay, he must be a Muslim, he must be doing, the bad guy roles, he's got to be doing the terrorists and the bad guys out in the Middle East, so all that kind of stuff. But it's changing, and then what happens is if you can make your own decisions and say, I'm not going to do those roles anymore, then it's all yours to have. It is understood, although it is not said or it's not mentioned, but people know when they're guilty of abusing women or abusing kids and stuff like that. And I started looking up YouTube videos and stuff like that, and it kind of like really got into it. And I was extremely disturbed by it. And I was like, wow, women are going through this right now, and it's especially in a time like this. How it is, and what's the great thing about this is like you can voice your opinion. You can bring it up to like notice to people, and like, hey, this is happening, and we must stop it.
What do you want the audience to come away with when they see this film?
I think it's more about awareness, and more than anything, it has to, like, people have to be aware that this is happening in the world, especially in India. In that part of the world, like where women are oppressed, and it's very difficult. However, if we can voice our opinions and if people can like really get behind it, it can stop. I know there are organizations out there in India right now that are working towards eliminating women abuse and children abuse, which is great.
What did you learn from doing this film?
Well, it's so funny because as men, we want to express ourselves in different ways and different emotions, and sometimes it is physical. And I think something that I learned was like, I will never be physical with women. That's one thing. Because like if you are uncomfortable in a situation or extremely emotional in a situation, rather walk away. And that's very important. Yeah.
I can't wait to see the film. I'm sure it's going to be fabulous, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the show. All right. Thank you.
What were the high points for you editing this film?
I think the high points editing are always when you have a challenge, when you're trying to put the film together and you realize that you may not have something that you hoped you did, and you're struggling with the director, with the producer, trying to figure out how can we tell this in the best way possible. And sometimes it takes hours, sometimes it takes days, but then you find that moment where all of a sudden it just starts coming together. So it's hard to pick one moment, but I think throughout any film that you work on, there's always those moments where you don't know if it's working out or not, and then all of a sudden it starts to come together.
Did you ever get to a point with this film where you got a certain place and you thought, oh my God, is that the right place? And then when you did that, what choice did you make?
I think that happened a couple of times, and sometimes I would feel something that maybe Rahul wouldn't, or sometimes he would see something that I wouldn't. And I think it just speaks to the nature of the director-editor collaboration, where I might not see something that he saw right away, but then we would spend time in working on it together, and then you would see that it's coming together in the film.
What was your inspiration? Did you have like a certain filmmaker that you thought, oh my God, I really want to achieve at this level or something like that?
I've seen Goodfellas about 50 times, and actually whenever I'm going to edit something, I go back and watch Goodfellas, so Scorsese is definitely one of my favorites, and somehow I can always find inspiration from something that he's done.
Noah Potter, I'm the producer.
Rahul Nath, director, writer, actor. I think for me, I've seen many women in our culture suffer and continuing to suffer, and it really shocks me how nobody ever helps those women. And I really wanted to make a story that was very, very out there in terms of abuse, and I didn't want to just show physical abuse because I think that's an easy way to show on camera. I wanted to show different forms of abuse, mental, emotional, as well as physical. And when I wrote this, I was basing it on the experiences that I've heard, I've seen, things that I continue to see in our society. I think it's very upsetting, but it drove me to write this project. I then presented it to a friend of mine, Darren Rydstrom, who unfortunately passed away on the pre-production, and this movie is now dedicated to him. And I thought nobody would believe in it, and then just by chance, I'd worked with Noah before, and he just kind of ran with it, and here we are.
Well, I think the first thing is working with Rahul. He's a director with a very powerful sense of vision for his films. He approaches them with an uncompromising brutality to really get into the meat of the story and tackle taboo subjects head on.
I didn't want to hold back, and I think when you make a movie and when you write, it's like vomiting. You can't control what comes out of your mouth, but in this case, you can't control what you write. And I think the great thing about being with Noah is that he just understood my understanding and my thinking, which a lot of people, when I presented the script to them, they were like, "There's something wrong with you." And again, that was all people from my community. So Noah, being a non-Indian, I thought, oh, either he's crazy, or or maybe we have something great here. And that's.
I may be a little nuts, but there was something great about the collaboration and the vision and the story behind it, where everyone really connected in the writing process to our own experiences and stories we've heard. There's so much of the abuse and the brutality came from actual stories. It's kind of scary to think that when you're watching it. Again, I think it's something that it's not going to be out there for you to see, and I think part of the tabooness of it is, we think there's certain communities where this will be okay or whatever, but no one thinks, oh, this could happen to me, this could be happening to someone I know, this could affect someone who's watching this film now. So, I mean, I think that's part of it, definitely.
What do you want audiences to come away with when they see this film?
I think my aim really is to show people what's going on in our society, and for our community not to really keep quiet about it. When you watch the movie, you see what the main character Vedhi goes through, and you see that she's so alone. And I think that's the message that I would like to get out, is that women who are going through this, they're not alone. People in our community should support them. There should be support from everybody, and I'm just hoping that this really, has that domino effect where women are helped, and that's coming from a male in the South Asian community. So I really hope that women who are suffering are helped by everybody, and I hope that women who talk ill of other women who are being abused, that they put a stop to what they do as well. So the whole project has been great. I think our hopes and wishes are just escalating each day, because that was the intensity of the project. We're just reaching different heights on a daily basis with this. So we're very, very excited, very, very excited.
Yeah. And I definitely hope that people will take Rahul's courage at tackling these issues head on and start their own conversations about it. So, thank you so much for.
I'm so glad you got me here. I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to see the film. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.